Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled, What Do You Want? Now, I want you to think seriously about this when you do finish this episode. I want you to think about, what do you want? Now, as we are heading into 2021, a lot of people will have picked up the goals they had started in January 2020, and they'll probably dust them off, and they'll probably present them to 2021 and say, well, here you go, I want this to happen in this year. And that is usually about as far as they kind of think about it. You know, by the end of probably the second week of January, that goal has gone out the window, and they are going back to their normal kind of routine that they used to do in 2020. And, you know, if you do kind of follow the same routine over and over and over again, you can't really expect to get the same results. You know, if I was driving from where I live in Uri to Belfast, if I did that over and over and over every single day, how would I expect to go to Dublin, which is 50 miles in the opposite direction? You know, but unfortunately, all of us kind of go down the kind of same mental highway, the same mental route over and over again, and then we wonder why we haven't lost weight. We wonder why we're not making more money. We wonder why we haven't finished off that book. We wonder why our business hasn't grown or whatever. And again, it's because we have gone down the same route over and over and over again. So as we're heading into 2021, I want you just to think for a moment, what do you expect is going to happen in 2021 if you keep doing the same things you're doing right now? Or maybe you've got no goal at all. Maybe you're just kind of aimlessly heading into 2021 and you're just leaving it into the hands of fate, and whatever happens. But sometimes, unfortunately, when you have no direction at all, you can't be surprised when you maybe go or end up in somewhere where you're not very happy with. So I want you to think about what you want. Now, one of the things I've been doing this past couple of weeks, as I've been listening to more and more content by Bob Proctor, a lot of the content I've been listening to it over and over again. And as Bob said in one of his audio pieces, you know, sometimes when you listen back through something twice or three times or more, sometimes you hear it in a completely different way, in that it's almost as if somebody had slipped in another piece of audio, or somebody had added another piece of video, or added a couple of pages to a book, in that sometimes you come across content that it's been there all along, but you've been totally kind of oblivious to it. You've, you know, just read past it or skimmed past it, and it didn't have any kind of, you know, influence on you at all. And for the longest time, Bob Proctor used to say, I want you to write your goal down on a little piece of card, a goal card, and I want you to carry it with you everywhere, and I want you to think about it every day and read over that goal card over and over again. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't really kind of latch on to that idea. I thought that was a good idea, and what I used to do was I used to carry the gold card maybe for a week or so, and then unfortunately my trousers might end up going in the wash and the gold card would end up being washed out. But I would never ever actually think of getting another gold card and writing the same kind of goal down again and kind of reading it over and over again. Now, it's only been this past week that I have been really consistent in what I've done, in that I, as Bob had said, I am constantly reading my gold card over and over again. And I've actually started to write my goals out, you know, in the morning time, usually when I'm waiting for the kettle to boil and my first cup of coffee, I do sit down and I write my goals out maybe 20 times every day. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what is the point of carrying a goal card around, or what is the point of writing out your goals? Now, if you think of it, if you do kind of head aimlessly into 2021, as I said, do you really expect that you are going to end up in a place that you want to? But if you do carry a goal card on you, and if you do read it regularly, it does kind of refocus your mind into where you want to go. You know, going back to that kind of scenario where maybe if I am heading aimlessly into 2021, and if I am kind of going along the same kind of mental highways that I've done the years before, as I said, if I'm going between Newry and Belfast and I'm mentally doing that over and over again, can I really expect to go to Dublin, which is in 50 miles in the opposite direction? So a goal card is, which as I said, it didn't really actually make me, it didn't actually dawn on me what it actually does, is that it refocuses your mind in the direction that you want to go. So if I'm looking to go to Dublin, and if I have on my goal card that I want to go to Dublin, and if I am reading that goal card over and over again, it is going to make me turn mentally away from Belfast, where I've been constantly kind of focusing my mind, and it's going to give me maybe ideas of how I can actually get to Dublin, or how I should be actually taking different actions every day that can turn me in that direction and send me in the direction of Dublin, rather than going to Belfast all the time, as I've kind of have been habitually doing over and over again. And as I said, for the longest time I used to hear that about goal cards, but it never really dawned on me what it does. But it actually trains your mind in that every day you get up, you are looking at the direction you want to go in, rather than the direction your mind is on autopilot, or maybe the direction that maybe your parents have been teaching to you, or maybe your guardians or your teachers or society or whatever. At the moment, there's a lot of things that are looking for your attention. You're seeing the media, you're seeing a lot of the kind of news stories about coronavirus, and then maybe you're hearing stories about Trump, and you're hearing stories about Biden, and you hear stories about this and that and the other, and your attention is kind of pulled in 100 different directions at any one time. And like if you do find your attention is directed in so many directions at one time, can you really expect to go in anything? If the media has grabbed your attention and is saying, kind of look over here, this is what you need to be focused on, or you need to be focusing on this, or you need to be focusing on that. All that is distracting you away from whatever goals that you have, your life, your business, your health, or whatever, and it's taking your kind of attention away from it. But if you do have a goal card, it's just as simple as just pulling it out of your pocket and just reading through it when maybe your mind is focusing on the coronavirus, when maybe your mind or the media is directing you onto Trump or whatever it is. Now, I would recommend, if you are somebody who is paying a lot of attention to the media, is just to turn everything off, turn all the news, turn off all the negative people who are on Twitter or Facebook, whatever, because they are just leading you in a completely different direction and are just totally distracting you. But if you do write your goals down on a goal card and you do kind of read them over and over again, it is kind of reinforcing where you want to go. It's giving your mind a direction that you wanted to go in, rather than the kind of aimless wandering maybe you've been doing, in the weeks and months ahead. In the past. So I want you to think about that as we are heading into 2021. Are you kind of running around aimlessly? Is your attention all over the place? Are people kind of grabbing you mentally by the scruff of the collar and saying, look at this, you need to see this, you need to focus on that, you need to look at this? Or should you be focusing on what you want, where the direction you want your life to go in? So I would recommend, if maybe you've never done it before, or if like me, you have done it maybe for a couple of weeks and maybe just kind of tossed the idea away, get a piece of card today and write down your goal. What would you like to achieve in 2021? And like I am doing, if you want to, maybe write it out maybe 20 or 30 times every morning before you start your day. But read through your card, have a think about what you would like happen, and just kind of maybe close your eyes maybe for 5 or 10 minutes as you're reading through your goal card, and just imagine how your life would be if it was in that direction. And maybe visualizing that might inspire you maybe to take different action, maybe to motivate you, but just to give you some idea that you have some direction in your day, that you're not aimlessly just getting up and then just going through your normal routine and then heading to bed and never achieving anything. So give that some thought today if you have been a little bit lazy, or maybe it's something you've never ever done before, or maybe you are heading into 2021 aimlessly with no direction and not knowing what to do. Just set aside maybe today and just think to yourself, what would I like to achieve in 2021? And then get a piece of card, you can cut something off a cereal packet, you don't have to go and get anything fancy, and then just write on the back of it what you would like to achieve, and then put that in your pocket and read through it every morning. Read through it a couple of times a day. Read through it, especially in those moments when everybody else is looking for your attention, the media and maybe your business, maybe the results you're getting right now are kind of making you focus in the wrong direction. And read that card and read over a couple of times until you feel a little bit more confident about yourself, when you feel a little bit more focused, when you feel like you have a little bit of direction. And let's see how next year goes. Let's see if you end up in a completely different direction because you have a little kind of, you have a kind of a compass or a kind of idea or a sat nav. This is going to be kind of your mental sat nav for the year in the direction that you want to achieve in 2021. So that's what I want you to do today. You have a little bit of homework to do. Grab a cereal box, cut off a little piece and write down what goal you would like to achieve. Put it in your pocket and read it as often as you can. Not because the repetition is going to kind of drum it into your mind. It probably will. It probably will make some changes in your subconscious, but it's going to refocus where your mind is right now, and it's probably going to give you some direction in the weeks and months ahead. So as always, if you'd like to find out more about me, or if you'd like to find out more episodes of this podcast, if you do a search for Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, or if you'd like to reach out to me personally, you can send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, or if you'd like to know what I do over on the Writecom site, which is a lot of helping people with writing, self-publishing and all those good things. If you'd like to find out more about that, again, do a search for Writecom. You'll find the content all over the Facebook, all over the web, and iTunes and YouTube or whatever. So WRITECOME.com. But if you are going to do something today, why not just follow my advice and have a goal in mind, and let's see what it does over the next couple of days and weeks for you. So as always, have a lovely day and thanks for your time. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.